Welcome to the Gaggle, where we talk politics in Arizona and beyond. This week we look at three issues we think might be around in election 2018. And Mary Jo, let's start with you. The empowerment scholarship vote was very controversial in the legislature, and apparently it has remained controversial.
It certainly has. For the last 2 weeks we had daily running protests, effectively in the form of pro-public education funding statements coming from education advocates read by Democratic lawmakers. These started to take up more and more time every day, and there was sort of a sense of enough already, we've heard this, forcing the House, well, not forcing, but prompting the House to change some of its protocols and moving these statements till later in the day, which, you know, was seen as a sign of disrespect for citizens who came down here. And it all came to a head a week ago Thursday. They just sort of went too far for Speaker Mesnar, and he said, look, you know, one more ESA speech comes up on something that doesn't have to do anything with ESAs, and we're changing the rules, we're going to shut it down. And that was heard. So here comes the new week, and we had a bunch of red-shirted education protesters sitting up in the House gallery in a silent protest, trying to make their message heard through their presence. And their message, of course, is that we will remember, we will see this, we're going to push and push for more education funding.
And they're tweeting too, so they're tweeting lawmakers getting blocked, and you know, so they're not maybe so silent.
A social campaign as well. And we've already seen one candidate get in the race for governor on this issue.
Yeah, David Garcia announced his candidacy for the Democratic nomination, you know, saying it's because of the ESA vote. So this is building with some kind of momentum. We'll see if it can keep it up, though, until you get to primary elections in 18.
So Ron, Rep. Krysten Sinema has sort of stepped in it with some donations she accepted from the owners of Backpage, and it looks like Republicans would like to make this an issue in 2018.
Yeah, they certainly would like to. Backpage.com is the website that's been linked to underage minors being trafficked online and such. The founders and owners of that site had been making a slew of donations to a number of different politicians, but Krysten Sinema collected the most, about $53,000 at final count. And she gave the money to charity after a few stumbles to try and find folks to give the money to, trying to rid herself of this issue and be done with it. The folks who were involved in that were also making donations, though, to Tom O'Halloran, Ruben Gallego, and others. And so Republicans are trying to make this an issue, especially with Sinema, who is contemplating a Senate run, and with Tom O'Halloran, who is a vulnerable Democrat running in an always competitive seat.
So Yvonne, you see higher education as possibly something that we're talking about now, but also could be talking about a year and a half from now.
Yeah, and that's the reason we're still down here at the state legislature waiting for them to sine die. The governor.
Not sign and die, that's sine die.
Sine die. So governor wants to push through a package that would give universities about $1 billion worth of bonding over the next 3 decades or so. It's a proposal that didn't sit well with Republicans, and I suspect the university funding issue will come up in 2018. That's why he's trying to put an end to it right now before the criticism deepens, really. His first year down here, university funding was cut by about $100 million. Second year, they got some money, but not enough. Tuition costs are rising. This is something I think David Garcia will be talking about heading into the 2018 election. Ducey wants to get a good headline probably out there so that he can include it in maybe some campaign mailers.
Mary Jo, what are you going to be watching for this week?
Well, Governor Ducey signed the teen texting while driving ban.
I'm going to be watching to see if the federal government shuts down. Ron, will you be watching with me?
I will be, and thinking, of course, as always, of how Arizona fits into this. Border adjustment tax, border wall, it's all Arizona.
Both at issue there. Yvonne.
State budget, winners, losers.
Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week.